If you have $100, you can start investing today. Here's exactly what to do step by step. So the first thing I want you to do is invest in something reliable. So instead of investing into something that maybe you're not familiar with or you don't fully understand, like individual stocks, bonds, or even crypto, I want you to invest in something that's even more reliable. And that thing is exchange traded funds. Now, I'm going to give you a super exciting and fun way to explain this because low key, learning investing is kind of boring. So there's different types of ETFs. There's ETFs that are stock based, ETFs that are based on bonds, and now they even have crypto ETFs. We're going to focus on the stock based ETFs because the longer you hold a stock, the more secure it is long term. So now here's the fun analogy part that I was talking about earlier. So think about investing the same way you would look at getting into shape. So what I mean by that is if you were to invest into just one stock, which is really just one company, that's like going to the gym saying, I'm going to get into shape, but you're only focusing on bicep curls. You get what I'm saying? Like your arms are going to be huge after a while, but your legs are going to look like pretzel sticks in comparison, while your arms are looking like the Hulk and Thor had a baby. We can't be having you out here looking like that. So it's the same approach with investing. If you invest into individual stocks, especially as a beginner and you don't really know much about the company, that's exactly what it's like you're doing. You're causing imbalances within your body, which translates to imbalances in your finances in this particular case. So when you invest in an ETF, especially the ones that I'm going to be going over in this video, I'll actually give you a list of options that you will have. It'll be like instead of you just focusing on arms or legs, now you're focusing on weightlifting, cardio. You're focused on hydration, nutrition, flexibility, mobility. So hopefully that makes sense to you. That's the analogy I'm giving you because you need to have balance when it comes to physical fitness, just like you do with investing. And so that's a multifaceted thing. So is investing. So imagine focus being your money. So instead of putting focus into your arms or your legs, you're putting your focus into an entire fitness center that specializes in physical fitness. So now you're focusing on hydration, nutrition, weightlifting. You're focused on injury prevention. You're focused on mobility exercises. And now you're a more complete and more in shape person because of this. And that's how I want you to be with your investing journey. And so the types of ETFs we're talking about are broad-based ETFs, which are tracked on these things called indexes. So I'll give you three examples. You have the total market index, which includes big companies, middle-sized companies, and small companies in America. And these are the best companies that we have. And then we have the S&P 500. That's another index. And what that's going to do is it's going to track the top large 500 companies in America, and it's tracking their performance. And last but not least, we have the Nasdaq, which tracks the performance of pretty much all the companies within the New York Stock Exchange. So instead of putting all your money into one stock, you're putting your money across multiple stocks, which are across multiple industries and sectors, which means you're going to be on point once you start doing this and start investing in that. Even if it is $100, you're still spreading that $100 accordingly so that your money is in the best shape possible. So if you wanted to invest in something like the S&P 500, you could invest in something like SPY or VOO. And keep in mind, ETFs can be expensive. They can be $300, $400, $500, if not more. But you don't have to buy a full ETF. You can buy what are called partial shares. So if you put $100 into something that costs $500, you're getting a partial share. And don't feel discouraged because if the ETF's price goes up by 30%, so does your $100. So the whole point of this is to get into investing. But anyway, if you wanted to get into the total stock market based off of what I was saying, that's like, gosh, that's thousands of companies. So if you wanted to do that, you could invest in something called VTI. That is the ETF for that. And if you wanted to invest into the Nasdaq, you could invest in QQQ. So that's how you can invest into something reliable. But for the second thing that I want you to invest in, this is equally important. This is information. You want to understand exactly what you're doing. There's a ton of information on the internet, but if you really want to learn in-depth things about strategies, about investing and why certain things work, it will behoove you to do so because for me, I've been knew about ETFs and all these other things that are a great way to outperform an average investor or outperform most investors in general. Like the playbook I just gave you in tip number one, you will definitely 100% outperform most investors out there just with that advice alone. But for me, even though I knew that a long time ago, it's nerve-wracking to me to just blindly put my money into something and just expect it to grow. And like when it dips, I'm freaking out because I'm like, why is it dipping? But the more you understand things and the more information you have, you understand why the dips happen. You understand why the spikes happen. And that's going to put you in a position of power so you're not freaking out like everyone else. So with that said, I do have a community called Wealth Journey Collective, aka WJC, in which we have a community of people who are working to get their first $100,000 in net worth. They're beginner investors too, and I'm showing them how to build their net worth via the vehicle of investing, particularly in the stock market. If you want to join, it is linked down in the description. We have a great community and it is growing every single day. And I'm extremely proud to have such a community and I'm proud to see their growth every day. And as long as you remain a member, it gives you access to my stock investing class, which I teach over 3 hours worth of information. So check that out. I took every lesson I've ever learned about investing and I put it and condensed several years of frustration into just a few hours of easy to understand, simple videos that also have PDFs and exercises and other helpful information within it. So check that out if you're interested. But anyway, you could also invest into things like books. Money Master the Game is a great investing book. You want to put money into that. So even if you put 50 into an ETF and another $50 into information and you did that every month, like you would do well over time. It's not like you would have to buy information every single month because like honestly, you could just look at it and once you've learned the amount that you need to learn, you're like, okay, I'm going to take a step back on that and I'm going to just keep taking action now. I'm just going to keep investing now. So then that $100 you invest every single month. But one of the most important tips I can possibly ever give you about investing, and this is tip number 3, buy every month. And when I say that, I mean, if you're spending $100 now, continue to invest every month. I don't care if it's $20, $40, $50, or another $100. Just invest every month into the same ETF, into the same type of information that you're continuously learning on. Keep investing in that stuff. And you'd be surprised at how cheap learning actually is. So you probably won't even go through $50 in learning every single month. My community doesn't cost nearly that much, for example. But anyway, you continue to buy every month and you would be astonished by how much your account grows within a year, 2 years, 5 years. It's just like your 401k at work. I'm assuming you have a full-time job if you're watching this video. If you don't, well, still listen to what I have to say because it's still important. But when you invest in your 401k at work, it's automatically taking money out of your paycheck before it's even taxed. And it's investing it for you into whichever fund your 401k has. And so you don't even feel that. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Then you check it out at the end of the year or whatever, within 6 months, and you're like, man, that grew a lot. Yeah, investments grow. And don't feel like you need to have all the money in the world to just continuously invest. I didn't start with thousands of dollars. I've grown my accounts to well over $168,000 just between all the different investing accounts that I have. And I'm 29 right now, but I wish I would have known the things that I knew now back then, because back then when I was 21, I didn't really feel like I had the amount of money to invest. So you know what I did? I did not invest, and that made me lose out on several thousands of dollars. But when I did finally get the confidence to start investing, I didn't start with thousands of dollars. I started with like $200 total. And then every month after that, I just kept putting 100 in until I was able to afford to put more in. And since you're still here with me hanging out, you know what I'm saying, I want to give you a bonus tip to this entire video. And that's give yourself 30 minutes to an hour every single day, Monday through Friday, just to learn about investing. And you don't have to spend any money to do this. You could look at articles online or look at Investopedia. That's a very good outlet for that type of thing. But you can check those things out and you would be surprised at how much you can learn just by dedicating 30 minutes to an hour daily to do that. Then you'll become more confident and everything like that. And even if you have invested into investing resources and information, give that 30 minutes to an hour a day. And that'll be a giant return on your investment just by doing that. Bonus points if you do it during the weekend, but I'm saying just give yourself Monday through Friday. But if you do the weekend on top of that, that's even better. And the reason I say Monday through Friday is because you're already in work mode anyway. Shout out to you if you have a full-time job. Shout out to you if you're in school. And shout out to you, especially if you're doing both right now. You're a real trooper. You're the one who deserves to be making money passively and making money in your sleep and making money no matter what. So why not let your money work for you while all that time is passing anyway? And I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Reggie Bryant. This channel is called Invest with Reggie because of one thing and one thing only. I help everyday people grow wealth through smart investing, and that is what I plan on helping everyone watching this channel do. This is just my first video on this channel, but there's a lot more where that came from. Stay tuned and check out my next video.